Okay, this is a video on lights. Not just any lights, the Humvee headlights. Now we all know that American General, when they made these back in the day, probably did their best to make the best possible headlight they could find. But times have changed and these things are pretty pathetic. But there are some options out there, and there are a number of options. You can go on eBay, Amazon, some of the Hummer and Humvee guys that have accessories also have. Some are plug and play, which means to me, when plug and play says plug and play, it means these wires right here are already connected, 91, 17 and 18, and ready to plug and play. That's what it means. These are sold as plug and play, however they're not. So also comes with some accessories, anti-flicker, which I don't know what that is and I don't know if I need it, but we're going to find out, because this is going to be a whole tutorial on how to replace your headlights with this LED option from Amazon at $89. So let's get started. Okay, now the option I chose does have the halo. As you can see here, you have your low beam, your high beam. These are all three part of the low beam. And the halo, which you can wire, and the wires are right here. Now it will operate as a directional as well. Well, what you need to do is wire this into your directional and wire the other one into your driver's light. Turn signal, driver's light. And we'll have to drill a hole through the bucket here in order to make that happen. And I don't just want to drill a hole through here. I'm going to put a grommet in as well, so that over time the metal doesn't wear through the wires and short circuit something. Also, I'm going to clean this up. The whole machine is being cleaned up and painted, and I don't want to miss these buckets since I have everything out of here. I'm going to go ahead and clean those up and get those ready for installation as well. But this is one of the options on Amazon with the halo, and we'll see how it looks after it's hooked up, but I'm thinking it's going to look pretty good. Okay, so we're here on the bench and we are working on wiring up the lights, and unfortunately this particular light I bought, which is the D08840B, here's the box. Now in the wiring instructions, it doesn't tell you once you cut it off, even before you cut it off, it doesn't tell you which one is high beam, low beam, and ground or common. And I went online, there's some videos out there regarding these, but the lights aren't exactly the same. So I kind of had to just check it out. So I cut off my wires from my original lights and I just wire nutted them on temporarily. Blue is 18, black is 91, and red is 17. And I went out and tested it, and that is indeed correct. So now I'll go ahead and solder them, heat shrink them, and drill the hole for the wires here for the halo, and we should be good to go. And voila, there we go. We do have it. The high beams work. I have not yet wired up the halo, but something I wanted to touch base on, it is a very tight fit. And although I haven't cleaned up the buckets yet, right here I have seen in some of the videos where they actually ground the notches on there's little tabs on the lights that go into these notches. And some guys have actually ground them down a little bit. I found all I needed really was a flathead screwdriver and just give it just a little bit of a tweak right here and right here. Just open that up just a little bit and it went in. So just a flathead screwdriver, just open it up a little bit and you shouldn't have any problems. So the yellow wire coming off the new headlights needs to be tapped into number 46. and that will give you your halo turn signal. And here we are with the driving light, the white halo, and that is connected to number 49. And here you have the low beams and the halo. Here you have the low beam, the turn signal, and the white halo. Now, if you're going to cut off your wires, make sure you cut them off and leave the numbered part on what you're using. You want to have this one, the number, on the new wiring. Now, you'll also be cutting off the plug. And like I said, the 91 is the black. The 18 is the blue, which you can see the blue in there. And 17 is red. And we'll cut these off, heat shrink them, and we'll heat shrink them to these wires. Drill the holes in the bucket, put a grommet in, run these through, and tap them into our driving lights and our turn signals. And there you have it. With the lights installed, a much better look. And actually, I can see a lot better on the road. Great improvement, easy install. Once you know what wires go where, anybody can do it. Good luck, guys.